Hey, what's up, Rockflock? This is the Master Gamer Rockhawk64, welcoming you to a new series. This is the Video Game Talk series, basically where I just give my opinions on various video game-related topics as I see fit, sometimes related to recent news and sometimes just on a particular subject that I feel like making some content on. And as you can tell by the title of this first video, this is actually going to be a mini-series called Smash Hype. And this first part is just a brief look at the history of the Super Smash Bros. Series of games, and then just some of my thoughts on the new Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U that are coming out. So we're gonna go ahead and just dive right on in. So the first Super Smash Bros. Game was entitled, obviously, Super Smash Bros. It was released on the Nintendo 64 in 1999. It's actually interesting take for a Nintendo game because it is actually a fighter, and it was originally going to be a fighting game based on original characters, but at the time of development, when they were going to pitch the idea, they had actually based the models on some Nintendo characters, and the idea was actually approved to go ahead and have the Nintendo characters fighting. So instead of just being a generic fighting game with characters that were made from the ground up, they just decided to use Nintendo canon characters. The first game wasn't very large. There were a total of 12 characters, 8 characters that were available initially, and then 4 hidden characters that you could unlock. And the 2 main modes that were played in were the classic mode and the versus mode. In classic mode, you fought the same 8 characters. You fought the same. I'm not sure if it's 8, but you fought the same characters in the row. And there were also certain events like bonus stages, like break the targets and board the platforms, that you also went through. And what made it different is, yes, it was the same sequence of characters, but you could also change the difficulty, making fights more difficult or more easy depending on your skill level. And then there was versus mode, which allowed up to 4 players to brawl it out on a selected stage. And so that was actually the start of the Super Smash Bros. Series. It was initially only released in Japan until it sold about 1 million copies, and then it was released worldwide. I think that was actually in the year 2000 that it had the worldwide release. So that goes to show you just how popular the first game was. Now, the second game was entitled Super Smash Bros. Melee, and was released among the years 2001 to 2002. And the game had a much larger budget than the original Super Smash Bros. Game, and so this definitely gave it the opportunity to take what the original Super Smash Bros. Did and improve upon it even more. And actually, the improvements were so much that this actually was one of the best-selling Nintendo GameCube games. And the roster increased. There were a total of 26 characters in the second game, which a little bit more than double the original characters. Of these 26 characters, 15 were available initially, and the other 11 were unlockable. And the Super Smash Bros. Melee, as I've said before, it did expand upon what the original Super Smash Bros. Did and made it better. For example, the single player mode added 2 new modes. Adventure mode, in which you went through several Nintendo-themed worlds and had to play through them, completing various objectives. And then there was All-Star mode, where you basically had to go through the fights with just 1 life. No, that's thinking Brawl. But there was also the All-Star mode added. And then in the versus mode side of things, there were more ways to customize your Super Smash Bros. Multiplayer experience, including being able to have tournaments up to 64 players, in which the 64 characters which the players could control at the same time, even though only 4 players could compete simultaneously. And then there were also ways to edit the match, like you could judge how the match was scored based on, for example, coins, beating coins out of your enemies and collecting them. Whoever had the most coins wins, as well as other ways to alter the match, including turning items on and off. And then in 2008, released Super Smash Bros. Brawl, possibly one of the most innovative, in my personal opinion, of the Smash Bros. Games, mainly for the brand new adventure mode, which is entitled the Subspace Emissary, which there was an actual coherent storyline in which there's a new group of villains called the Subspace Army, and they were basically taking certain parts of the world, setting off subspace bombs so that parts of the world would pretty much be wiped from existence and stored in this area called subspace. And the subspace army was headed by the ancient minister, and he was also accompanied by some villains, namely Bowser and Ganondorf, were the two big ones. And basically you had the different characters encountering each other and teaming up at some points, even if it took a little bit of beating some sense into the others. And there were also boss fights, including such notable bosses as PD Piranha, Ridley, and even Rayquaza from the Pokemon series. And there were also a bunch of original enemies featured only in Subspace Emissary, as well as classic Nintendo enemies like Goombas and the like. And this was actually the first Super Smash Bros. Game to feature third-party characters. The first of which was announced, I believe, was Solid Snake, and then there was also Sonic the Hedgehog, who appeared in the Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And now a little bit about the mechanics of the Super Smash Bros. Games. Definitely, the games are not like your standard, your typical fighting games in which you have to deplete your opponent's health to win. Instead, Super Smash Bros. Focuses on knocking your opponents off of the screen. There is a meter that is always at the bottom, which has a character's picture and then the symbol of the series which they're from. Like, for example, Mario has a mushroom, any of the Pokemon characters have a Pokeball, Samus has the screw attack, etc., etc. And what you have to do, you have to keep raising this meter, which can go beyond 100%. And the higher the opponent's damage meter is, the easier it is to send them flying off the edge of the screen, thus taking away one of their stock. The two main ways to win is either to deplete an enemy's stock, that is to knock them off the screen a certain number of times, or to have the most number of knockouts before the timer is out. And so this definitely can make matches very hectic and interesting. Also along the way, items were added, which were usually based around Nintendo peripherals and lore. A couple of which being, like, for example, the Zapper Gun was one of the items, as well as something like a mushroom, Koopa Shell, Bob-Bombs, just all sorts of things like that. There were also a set of items called Pokeballs, and if you grabbed one of these and threw it out, a random Pokemon would come out and would have a various effect. Like, for example, Snorlax typically flies up and then flies down on the screen and hits a lot of the enemies, and hits pretty much most of the enemies for a lot of damage, and can even send them flying off the screen. And Super Smash Bros. Brawl introduced two new item types, the first of which is another quote-unquote sub-series of items called Assist Trophies, in which various Nintendo characters would pop out and assist the player. One of my personal favorite ones from Super Smash Bros. Brawl would be the Advance Wars Assist Trophy, in which various Advance Wars units come out and start shooting at the opponent. Also was Lyn, who would disappear, reappear, and slash at an enemy a few times, and etc., etc. And then perhaps the most innovative change that Super Smash Bros. Brawl brought to the table is the Smash Ball. When it breaks open, your character gains temporary access to an ultra-powerful attack called their Final Smash. Called so because it usually ends up with all the enemies flying off of the screen, and the Smash Ball was attacked. You know, you had to attack the Smash Ball to break it open. But the thing was that it didn't matter who had the most hits, but who landed the final blow on the smash ball to break it open. That character would glow with like a rainbow-like aura, and then if you press both attack buttons at the same time, they would initiate their final smash. And this would be various things from, like, for example, Supersonic. Sonic's final smash is Supersonic, and he just flies around the screen and can damage enemies. To something like Mario's final smash, the Mario Fireball, which he just shoots out this big-ass wave of fire that slowly spreads up and down across the screen. And one of the most notable final smashes, actually, of Super Smash Bros. Was Samus's final smash, which was the Zero Beam. She would fire this really powerful laser like Mario's Fireball, and then her suit would fall off and she would become Zero Suit Samus. And then Zero Suit Samus's final smash was called Power Suit. Basically, there was this aura that drew enemies in, then sent them flying away, and Samus emerged in her Power Suit again. So this means that really, if you played Samus or Zero Suit Samus, you pretty much had to get used to two different play styles. So that's just a brief look at some of the mechanics of the Super Smash Bros. Series. And now for what we're all really here for: Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. I definitely do think that it's interesting that Nintendo's decided to have this on both the 3DS and the Nintendo Wii U. As I'll explain in a little bonus video later, I have actually played the Smash demo, and it's a very fun game, and it's definitely pushing the 3DS to its limits, but it does it so well. 60 FPS. There was no frame drops whatsoever on the demo. The demo actually releases... well, actually, the demo technically is already released if you were lucky enough to get your hands on a download code, because Nintendo decided that they were going to release the demo a week early to Club Nintendo members that reached Platinum in the previous Club Nintendo year, and that also subscribed to emails. So they got 4 codes, and they were the people were encouraged to share their codes, except some people decided to use it for profit. And so the demo actually releases tomorrow, because this should be uploaded on the 18th of September. It releases Friday, September 19th. It's not an unlimited demo like the early demo was, but you still can have up to 30 plays, and so that'll be more than enough time to check out all the characters. You only have access to 5 characters, 3 of which are veterans, 2 of which are newcomers, and 1 stage which you can play in both the standard and Final Destination mode. And so far, the Nintendo 3DS, the Smash for 3DS, has a release date of October 3rd, 2014. The Smash for Wii U has no set release date yet. All we know is it's going to be released sometime around the holidays of this year. And one thing to note is that the Nintendo 3DS has an exclusive mode called Smash Run. So you can actually go through the Smash Run, and then when you get the Smash for Wii U, if you have both versions, your Smash 3DS can communicate with your Smash Wii U, and you can transfer the benefits from Smash Run to the Wii U version, even though you can't use it in online play. And the roster in this game is definitely a lot larger than the other games. I'm not sure, I don't think it's quite known exactly how many characters total there are, because there are still some hidden characters that Nintendo has kept under wraps for the moment. But this is definitely one of the more hyped up Super Smash Bros. Games, and it's definitely got a welcome relief as far as some of the characters, but that will be discussed in a later video. For now, guys, I've been Rockhawk64, bringing you just a little introduction to the Smash Hype series. So just remember, guys, to have fun with life and enjoy it too. I want to thank you all for watching, even though probably most of you just paid more attention to the Smash footage in the background. So, yeah, just remember to have fun with life and enjoy it too. I'll catch you all in the next video, where I'll have a special guest. As for who it is, you'll have to find out, so until then, deuces.